Hi guys, it's Jen. Welcome to 50s Plus. Today we're going to be doing a mixture of strength and conditioning work separated into different blocks. We're going to start with a really nice sort of 5-minute warm-up. All you're going to need is some kind of chair or an ottoman or some kind of box. Just make sure it's stable. And maybe a couple of hand weights if you have got them. If you haven't got any hand weights, maybe some water bottles filled with water, some tins of food, something to hold on to would be fantastic. And a mat for your knees, as we have got an incline push-up at one point, so you will be coming down onto the floor, and we're going to finish on a little bit of core. So I'm going to give you 1 minute, go and grab yourself everything, pull it all together. If you've got your favourite playlist and you want to put some music on, then go for that, and I'll be back with you in 1 minute. Thank you. Okay, we're going to get started with our warm-up. So it's 5 minutes and we've got 5 different exercises we're going to work through. We're going to start with just some arm circles. Don't have to be big circles. Remember, it is the warm-up, so just nice and gentle. We're going to go forward for the first 30 seconds. Don't worry if you started to go backwards. We'll just reverse that in the second 30 seconds. Okay, now we're going to go back. Again, just small circles, doesn't have to be anything huge. Just getting those shoulders ready. Another 12 seconds. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, shake it out. So we're going to do a torso twist. So with a torso twist, I'm standing my feet just slightly wider than my hips, my arms up in front, and I'm rotating through my torso. Note that my hips are still facing forward and the rotation is purely coming, and my eyes are following my hands. Right to left and then back again. Try and go a little bit further each time to get that rotation through the spine. And like I said, just have a little check-in. Are my hips still facing forward? We don't want to twist too much through them. We're just trying to warm up that midline. Another 23 seconds. Keep it going. Okay, shake it out from there. Arms might be fine to feel a little bit fatigued from having them up there. We're going to go into a squat, so feet just wider than hip width apart, chest up nice and tall, and I'm going to come down as far as I can. That's entirely up to you. Remember, it is a warm-up, so I'm going to go from the side so you can see me. Just a gentle, shallow squat, just to warm up. I've got my hands up in front. That helps keep my chest up nice and tall. I can also put my hands on my hips. Just be mindful that you're not letting your torso come forward. You're trying to sit down. Imagine you're trying to sit down on your heels. Another 15 seconds. Just nice and gentle. You don't have to keep up with me. You can go a little bit slower if you need to. 5 seconds. There we go. Okay, we're going to do a side lunge. So have your feet together, and all we're doing is just stepping to the side and just bending that outside leg. Inside leg is staying straight. Feet are coming back together, stepping it out Again, it's the outside leg that's staying bent. And my feet are parallel with each other. Have a little look down, just double check. And we're only going for a shallow lunge at the moment. If you find you can't actually lunge with the outside leg, that's too much, just to step it out. And you can just step out the movement, and that's absolutely fine as well. If you can, slow it down a bit and just bend that outside leg. Another 4 seconds. Brilliant, guys. Okay, we're going to do one more movement, okay? So final movement. Just going to put my clock back on. I'm going to go feet nice and wide. I'm going to spread my arms out to the side, and I'm going to try and touch opposite hand to opposite foot. Doesn't matter if you can't reach down to your toe, if you can only come to your shin, that's absolutely fine. We're just looking to come across the body and keep those feet firmly planted. Another 20 seconds. Five seconds. Okay, take a rest. We're going to move into our main workout now. It's set across 4 different sections. We're going to work an upper piece, a lower piece, a cardio to get that heart rate up and to keep our heart nice and healthy. And then we're going to finish on some glute and some core work, okay? So I'm going to give you a minute on the clock just to get a drink, and we'll get on with our first section, which is going to be upper body, okay? For this one, you will need, like I said, some hand weights, and you'll need a chair or something to do your push-ups against. You can even use a kitchen counter. That can work really well as well. Okay, I'll be back with you. Okay, we're back in. Now, we're going to start with an incline push-up. So if you have got a mat or a cushion to put for your knees, then pop that down in front of your box or your chair or whatever you've decided to use. I'm going to put that one down there for me. So I'm going to start, I've got 3 exercises. I'm going to spend 40 seconds on each exercise with 20 seconds rest, and we're going to do 3 rounds altogether. So each block is going to take about 10 minutes. We're going to have a minute's rest in between each one. So like I said, upper body to start with. We've got a push-up, a bent over row, and a front raise. The 2 other exercises can be done without any weight at all if you want just to work through the movement. But like I said, if you've got a couple of cans of beans, they'll work as good as some hand weights if you need them. Okay, so I'm going to get my timer started. Brilliant. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is incline push-up. So for that one, we're going to come down onto our knees. Now, if you can do push-ups on your feet, you're more than welcome to do that, but I'm going to choose today to do them on my knees. So I'm going to come in. My hands are just going slightly wider than my shoulders, and I'm going to aim to sending my elbows back, my Elbows are, and my arms are about sort of 40 at a 45-degree angle, and my chest is coming down in between, and then fully extension up. So I'm going to do 40 seconds. This is the first exercise of what we call a tricep. So there's 3 exercises together, all targeting the upper body. Start off nice and steady with your reps. We've got lots of work to do today, so don't go off like a rocket. Another 10 seconds. You also don't have to keep up with me either. This is your workout, so you do it at your own pace. Okay, so now I'm going to come up into a standing position. I've got 20 seconds rest on the clock. I'm going to grab my dumbbells and I'm going to do what we call a bent over row. So dumbbells are going to go either side. I'm going to go into what we call a hinge position. This is when I really push my hips back. So imagine there's a wall behind me and I'm trying to push my butt back to touch the wall. And note that my spine is staying in a neutral and a flat position. And I'm drawing my shoulder blades together and sending my elbows to the back of the room. And my weights are coming into my side. Little pause at the top. Really feel those shoulder blades coming together. Nice and gentle. Okay, we're now going to go into a front raise. Now with a front raise, depending on the weight of your dumbbells, you may choose to just do it with one, okay? Isolation exercise for your shoulder, and can be, as I like to say, a little bit spicy, okay? So with a front raise, feet are firmly planted, and all I'm doing is I'm bringing the weights up to parallel, no higher than that, and then back down again. Up to parallel, and then back down. Now if you've just realised the 2 weights you've got are a little bit too heavy for you, you can just grab one and do exactly the same with it. Another 15 seconds. Brilliant. Okay, so that's the 3 exercises as part of this upper body piece. So we're going to go back into your push-up now. Like I said, if you're finding it too much getting up and down off the floor, kitchen counter or a table works pretty well for doing push-ups against, but just make sure he's fixed and not going anywhere. Okay, 40 seconds of push-ups. Let's do this. Okay, finish your push-ups. Bring yourself up into a standing position. We're going to go back into that row. Now, as I said to you, we're working on what we call a hinge position. So instead of bending at the knees, I'm actually just pushing my butt as far back as I can, and I'm loading my hamstrings and my glutes and keeping my spine in a neutral position. Drawing my shoulder blades together and bringing the weights into my side pockets and my elbows to the back of the room. Seconds. Okay, fantastic. So back into that front raise. So you've got a little bit of rest for a second, 15 seconds on the clock. My feet are just underneath my hips, chest up nice and tall, and I'm coming up. So to parallel and back down. Remember, you can just do it with the one weight if you find this too hard. Eight seconds. Okay, brilliant. Pop your weights down. We've got one more round of this one, so I'm going to grab my mat again, pop him down, and I'm going to go into my push-up. Okay, chest down in between, full extension. "15 seconds, keep it going, last set of push-ups. Brilliant, okay. So back up into a standing position. Grab your hand weights. We've got that bent over row. So we've got 5 seconds. Okay, push those hips back, keep that back nice and flat. Remember those weights? We're trying not to bring them into our ears, we're trying to bring them into the side pockets. So we can target a bit more of that mid part of the back as well. "20 seconds, keep it going. Brilliant. Bring yourself up into standing. We've just got a front raise and then we're going to have a little rest. We'll move on to lower body. Okay, 10 seconds rest. Keep the rest. Okay, let's do our front raise. So, as I said before, bring it up to parallel and then back down again. No higher. If you can't come all the way up to parallel, then you can go a little bit lower than that as well. Another 10 seconds. Okay, brilliant. Okay, pop your hand weights down. That is the first section done, so thank you very much on that one. What we're going to do now is we're going to have a minute's rest and then we're going to move on to lower body, okay? So I'll give you that rest. Okay, so now you've had your minute's rest, we're going to move on to the lower body piece. So you're going to still need the chair. I'm going to bring it a little bit closer to me. We've got 3 movements. We've got a sit to stand. So we start off in a seated position. My feet are just going to be the same width as my hips. Arms up in front, and I'm going to come up into a standing position, okay? I'm going to very carefully lower myself back down again. As soon as I feel my bum just touch or grace the chair, I'm then going to come back up again, okay? So I'm using that as my guide to where. So we've got our sit to stand. We've got a deadlift, so we're going to need the hand weights again for that one. It's that hinge position that we just did. This time we're not rowing. What we're going to do is going to roll the shoulders back. We're going to keep the weights fixed to our side. And we're going to push the hips back. And I'm going to keep my arms in a nice locked position. And the weights are going to run down the side of the body. Again, note, my back stays in a nice flat position. And I only hinge as far as my hamstrings will let me, okay? If I go further than my hamstrings will let me, my back drops out and I start to round my spine. And that's really bad for my spine health. So I'm just pushing my hips back. I might only be able to come to my knees, that's absolutely fine. Squeeze my glutes at the top. Push those hips back. Okay, note that my shins stay in a vertical position and my knees do not come out over my feet, all right? So that's the deadlift. And the other exercise will be a calf raise. Now with the calf raise, I'm going to use the chair or I can use a wall to support myself. So I'll actually come round. Bring the chair forward so you can see me. And I'm going to come up onto my toes and then back down again. Up onto my toes and then back down. If I want to make that a little bit harder, because I find that a little bit easy, I can do it single leg, so taking 1 foot off the ground and just working 1 leg at a time. So really, you decide. I may do it single leg, and then I'll swap every sort of 20 seconds on that one. Okay, so we're going to start with our sit to stand. I'll get my timer going. You can also add a weight to the sit to stand if you want to, that's not a problem. All you need to do is hold the dumbbells in front. I'm going to choose not to do that to start with. I might add that in the 3rd round just to spice it up a little bit. So I'm going to start in a seated position. Like I said, my feet are in line with my hips. I'm going to go in 5 seconds. My chest is up nice and tall, hands up in front, all the way up into standing position, and lower myself down nice and slowly. Try not to plonk yourself down and make sure it's nice and controlled. So we want to stay nice and tight through the midline as well. You should feel this through the front of the legs, through the quads. I will also, as I stand up, squeeze my glutes at the top, just to let them know that I love them too. Okay, shake it off a little bit. We're going to go into our deadlift. So grab those weights. If you haven't got the weight, you can just practice the hinge position. So that's a really good position to work on. For the deadlift, my feet are directly underneath my hips. And I'm going to push those hips back. And then as I come up, squeeze my glutes at the top. I'm also keeping my neck in a neutral position, so no, my eyes come with the movement. I'm not trying to look up or look around. Okay, I don't need the weights, the calf raise. I'm going to come around the back, using this as a little bit of a support. And I'm going to do 20 seconds on one leg and 20 seconds on the other. You can do both together if you feel it's more suitable. Coming up all the way onto my toes, as far high as I can go, and then back down again. Again, nice controlled movement. Another 7 seconds on this side. And then I'm going to swap it over. Another 10 seconds. Okay, brilliant. So that's your 3 movements. We're going to go back into our sit to stand. We've got 20 seconds rest. So bring yourself into that seated position you're going to start in. Okay. Stand up. Lower yourself down nice and slowly. Like I said, if you wanted to make this a little bit harder, you could just grab the hand weights that you've got, hold them, just resting on the shoulders. Or you could even have them down by your side. Okay, brilliant. Now we're going to go into that deadlift. So 20 seconds rest. I don't want to fall forward and round my spine, that deadlift. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll my shoulders back. If I start with a good posture, it's much easier to maintain. I'm going to push my chest out a little bit, keep those shoulder blades locked together and push those hips back. Note the weights aren't coming out in front, they're staying down to the side. And like I said, if you haven't got any weights, just practicing that hinge position and feeling that stretch in the hamstrings and through the glutes is absolutely fine as well. However, if you have weights, let them come down the side of the legs. Brilliant. Okay, I'm going to now go into my calf raise. So I've got 10 seconds rest. As I did before, I'm going to do 20 seconds on one leg and then swap it over, using the chair to support me. And then swap it over onto the other side. Six seconds. Okay, I'm going to rest out of that one. So I've got to go through those 3 exercises one more time through. So back into my sit to stand. Okay, chest up tall, with or without weights. Just make sure the movement's controlled. Okay, brilliant. Into your deadlift, grab yourself your weights if you've got them. Roll those shoulders back. Said, think about that, the good posture. We're going to go in 3 seconds. Okay, push those hips back, keep those weights close. We don't want them to come out in front, we want them to stay close to the body. 5 seconds. Brilliant. Okay, we've got our calf raises. So pop those weights down. Again, I'm just doing 20 seconds on one leg and 20 seconds on the other, but you can just do them together for the full 40 seconds if that's more suitable. Okay, I'm going to swap over if you're doing single leg. Nearly the end. Okay, fantastic. So that ends your lower body part. We're going to move on to a cardio piece. So I'm going to give you a minute's rest. Grab some water. You won't need your chair. You may need it for the final piece today, so don't throw it away too far. To move that one out of the way. You also won't need a mat for this next bit. You're purely going to be on your feet. Okay, so let's have a minute's rest and then we'll come back in and do your cardio piece. Okay, we're going to get into our third block, which is cardio. So make sure you've got plenty of space and nothing to trip over. I need to move that a little bit further out of the way. So a nice bit of space, make sure you've got kind of a metre around you for movement, and we're going to get started. So for cardio, obviously we want to stay a nice strong body with our weights, but we also want a nice strong healthy heart to keep going as long as possible. The first movement we're going to do is a side step and then knee raise, okay? Side step, knee raise, a bit of balance is involved. So that's the first exercise. We've then got a march and a box step. So with a box step we go forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward, back, back. All right, they're the 3 exercises. So we're going to go into our side step and knee raise. So we step to the side, bring that knee up. Now if that's too much and you can't bring the knee up, then don't worry, just do a side step. But if you can, so step to the side, knee raise, and it's the inside leg that I'm looking at bringing up as I come make that side step. Another 10 seconds. Okay, brilliant. Take a 20 seconds rest. So we've got a choice on this one. We can just do it as a march, using your arms, knees coming up, or if you've got it in you and you want to do something a little bit more, we can do what we call a skip, and we can bring those knees up a little bit more in front, okay? So you pick your poison with that one. I'm going to do a little skip today, feeling like I've got a bit of extra energy. It doesn't have to be fast. I'm just trying to get that knee up as far as I can. Another 20 seconds. 12 seconds. Okay, take 20 seconds rest and we're going to do that box step. So imagine, as it sounds, you're in a box. I'm going to step forward, forward, back, back. Keeping my feet just slightly outside of, or slightly under my hips, or just slightly wider than that. Forward, forward, back, back. Forward, forward, back, back, okay? You don't have to keep up with me. You can do it a little bit slower if that suits you. That's not a problem. But if you want to get that heart rate up a little bit more, then just increase the speed, long as it's with good form. And you're doing it safely. Okay, take a little rest for 20 seconds and we're going back into that side step with that knee raise, okay? This is the third block today, and the fourth block before we do some stretching, we'll be doing core and glutes. So we're going to step to the side, knee raise, okay? And if I want to increase the intensity, I'll turn it a little bit more into a hop. If I don't, and I just want to step it out, then that's absolutely fine as well. You do what's good for you. "15 seconds. 10 seconds. Okay. Back into that march or that skip, depending on what you're doing or what suits you. So take the rest. We've got another 6 seconds. Big deep breath in. And like I said, if you just want to march, and that's absolutely fine. You don't even have to bring your knees up that high. Just walking on the spot. But make sure you use your arms as well. However, if you are feeling that a little bit more energetic today, we can turn it more into a skip. Seconds. There we go. Fantastic. Okay, we're into that box step. So I'm going to take my rest. Okay. So remember, we go forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward, back, back. Okay. So let's step it out. Forward. Now this time, I've been stepping forward each time. My first leg to go forward is my right leg, because it's my dominant leg. When I get to 20 seconds, I'm going to mix it up a bit. Okay, so now I'm going to go my left leg forward first, just to even myself up a little bit. Something I noticed on my first round. Okay, brilliant. Take your 20 seconds rest, and we've got one more round of that, okay? So remember, the first one we're doing is that side step and knee raise. You've got 10 seconds on the clock. Take a few deep breaths in. Okay, so step, nice big step, knee raise. Big step to the side. Again, use your arms. They're there as well to help. And we've got 25 seconds on the clock. Keep it going. If you've got more of a bounce on with this, then that's absolutely fine. 10 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Okay. 2 more exercises as part of the cardio piece. We've got that skip. So, I'm going to bring either our knees up in front in a marching position or a walking position. That's absolutely fine. Again, using those arms. Or we're going to turn it into a little bit of a skip. Me personally, bit of a skip. Doesn't have to be too fast. Another 30 seconds. Or you can just be transferring the weight from one side to the other, and that's fine. Another 15 seconds. Five seconds. Okay, brilliant. So we've got that final exercise, that box step. Make a note of which foot it is you're stepping forward with to start with. And we'll do 20 seconds on one and swap it over just to work a bit on our coordination. Okay, so I'm going to go forward my right leg and I step back with my right leg. Forward, forward, back, back, back. Okay, I'm at the 20 seconds mark. Let's mix it up. Left leg forward. Doing really well. Keep it going. Fantastic, okay. So that is section 3 done, so that's your cardio done for the day. We're going to move on to more core and a little bit of glute work. You will maybe potentially need your chair again and obviously the mat. So I'll let you guys have a minute's rest, get some water on board, and I'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, we're now into our final section of the workout today. So we're going to be doing some core and some glute work. If you have got it, bring the chair back in or whatever you're using for your incline. We've got, again, 3 exercises and we're going to be doing, again, 40 seconds on with 20 seconds rest. So I'm going to go through those with you. We've got an incline plank to start off with, so that's what we need the chair or the box for. Same as we would do on the floor. I'm going to rest my elbows onto the box or the bench, and then I'm going to bring myself into a plank position. What this does is just eliminates a little bit more of my body weight out of it and can make it a little bit easier than being right down onto the floor. Against a kitchen surface, that can also work as well. If this is too much, you could bring yourself down onto your knees and just hold that position. So that's the first one we're going to do. So bring yourself up into that plank position. Also, from a stability point of view, you can go a little bit wider on the feet as well. Wider the base, the more stable it is. That's entirely up to you as well. can also bring yourself up onto your hands into more a high plank position if that works for you. It's a little bit easier with the incline on the shoulders. Okay, so I'm going to bring myself down. So that's the first exercise. The second exercise is what we call a dead bug. Now for a dead bug, I'm going to bring myself down onto the mat. Get a little bit obvious once I'm down here. I'm going to look at keeping my back nice and flat. Bring my knees into a tabletop position and my hands above my chest. And then I'm going to look at extending opposite hand and opposite leg. Note that my other limbs, who should be not moving, are not moving. So be careful and mindful of that one. So opposite hands up to opposite leg. If that's too difficult, you can just extend the hands above the chest and we can just look at extending the legs out. That's absolutely fine as well. Okay, final one is our glute bridge. So for my glute bridge, I'm staying down on the floor. I'm bringing my heels as close to my bottom as I can. And I'm going to use my glutes. And as I squeeze those, I'm going to bring my hips up nice and high. I'm also going to make sure that I'm tight through the midline. So I'm not pushing my rib cage up. I'm tucking my rib cage down. And I said, using my glutes, as it sounds, to come nice and high. And then slowly rolling my spine back down onto the mat. Should be a roll up and a roll down in terms of your spine. Okay, take the 20 seconds rest. We're going to go back around and do our plank. Again, I'm going to flip myself over. You can do your plank down on the floor if you're comfortable doing your plank on the floor. Just make sure you're really squeezed through the glutes and the spine's in a nice neutral position. And like I said, with the one against the incline against the chair, you can do it with your arms fully extended or just down onto your elbows. It's entirely up to you, whichever feels more comfortable. Another 20 seconds. Make sure your back's not sagging. And you're squeezing your glutes to keep the bottom of your spine in a neutral position. Brilliant, okay. I'm going to come back down onto the mat, onto my back, and I'm back into my dead bugs. Make sure you've got enough space to extend your arms. And your back is nice and flat into the mat. Knees are in a tabletop position. We want to maintain that back nice and flat. So really jam it into the floor. And practice working on your coordination. Okay, I'm going to go into my glute bridge. So I'm going to bring my heels, make sure my feet are hip width apart, but bring my heels in close. Like I said, concentrating that my core is tight, my rib cage is tucked down, so I'm not flaring my tummy. And I'm using my glutes to bring my hips up nice and high, and then rolling that spine back down again. Okay, great. So I'm going to take 20 seconds rest. And then we are going to move back into our plank. So remember with this one, you can do it an incline, you can do it on the mat, you can do it on your knees. I'm going to choose to do it with extended arms. Step my feet back, make sure my back's in a nice flat position. I'm going to squeeze my glutes, keep my lower spine neutral. And I've got another 22 seconds. Go wider on those feet if you're finding it hard to be stable. And if this is too much on the wrists, bring yourself down onto your elbows. Three, two, and one. Brilliant. Okay, flip yourself over, back into those dead bugs. Again, make sure there's plenty of space in terms of where your arms are. Legs up into tabletop, arms above the chest. Extend, opposite hand, opposite leg. If it's becoming too much, just do with the legs extending. Okay, well done. We've got one more movement and then we're going to do some lovely stretching. We've got that glute bridge. So stay down on your mat. Bring those feet, those heels as close to your bottom. So we've got a nice good range. And we're going to start in 3 seconds. Bring those hips up nice and high. And then roll that spine back down again. Tight through that midline. Brilliant, okay. Roll that spine back down onto the mat. That's absolutely fantastic, guys. You are finished on your main workout today. Stay down on the mat, because we'll start some stretches, we'll do it down on the floor, and then we'll bring ourselves up standing for our final stretches. So stay down there for a second. I'm just going to double check something, and then I will be back with you. All good, all good. So, down on the floor. Have your legs extended in front of you, okay? My chest is up nice and tall. All I'm going to do is hinge slightly forward. Straight away I can feel a stretch down the back of the legs, through the hamstrings. If you're tight through the calves, try and flex your feet towards you. That helps increase it a little bit. And we're just going to stay here for about 30 seconds, okay? So just feel that stretch down the back. Another 15 seconds. Okay, we're going to walk the feet in close and we're going to hug ourselves. So we're going to so I'm trying to separate. Release that off. I'm going to put my legs back out in front. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my left leg and I'm going to pop it over my right leg. And then I'm going to pull this one in and I'm going to sit it on its own. You should now start to feel a stretch through the glute. And I'm going to do 30 seconds on one side and 30 seconds on the other. If you can't put all your full arms around, if you can just sort of pull in, you should feel a little bit through the hip area and the glute through here. Just try and pull it in as close as you can. Another 10 seconds. I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So I'm going to take my right leg and I'm going to put my foot over the other side and then I'm just going to try and just pull in. So I'm grabbing the hold of my shin and just pulling it in towards the body. Or if I can get my other arm around and sort of pull, get a really good stretch through here. Okay, I'm going to release out of that one. The next one I want to do is my quads. I'm actually going to come up into a standing position for that one. So carefully bring yourself up to standing, however you do that. Once you're up into a standing position, either the chair or the wall or something around you, you're going to bring the foot up, grab hold of the lace part of the shoe and try and pull that heel behind. If you can't do it with your hand or you can't get it down, you can grab hold of your towel and utilise that as a bit of a tool to wrap around the foot. Kind of want it around the toe area and then pulling it up behind. I'm going to hold that position. Another 10 seconds and we'll swap it over onto the other leg. Okay, brilliant. I'm going to release that one down carefully. I'm going to still use my towel. Like I said, if you can grab hold of your laces, then great. Put that one around and then pull that up behind. Chest up tall. Make sure your knees are together for this one. I'm going to pull that foot up as high as I can get it. Okay, and I'll carefully release myself out of that one. We've got one final, my favourite. So we're going to reach up towards the ceiling as high as we can. We're going to wiggle those fingers. And then we're going to drop ourselves down towards the floor. As I drop myself down, I'm going to exhale all the air. So breathe in, nice deep breath in, and then exhale all the way down. And feel that stretch up back through the back. Then I'm going to reach up again towards the ceiling, take a nice deep breath in again, and then exhale back down towards the floor. Stay down the bottom for a couple of seconds, roll my spine back up again, and I'm going to do that twice more, okay? Big reach up, big deep breath in, and then as I come down, drop myself down towards the floor, roll my spine back up again, nice big stretch up, nice big deep breath in, and then back down. This time I'm just going to hang out at the bottom a little bit longer, feel that stretch through the legs, let my back kind of stretch out as well. Then we're going to stay down here for about 20 seconds. So just hang out. You can put your hands on your legs if you feel like you need to support yourself. It's entirely up to you. Just let your own body weight naturally stretch out the back of the legs. We've got another 10 seconds. Three, two, one. Okay, roll your spine back up. Fantastic, guys. That was absolutely brilliant. Well done for joining me today. That was awesome. well done for getting involved. If you need anything, please just think about messaging us at the club, or you can private message me through social media if you've got any feedback you'd like to give us. And just like to say thank you very much for supporting us at Coffs Coast Health Club, and I look forward to doing this again with you online. Thank you very much.